This one was kind of funny. So today's quote of the day. I'm placing all my hope in scratch-off lottery tickets. Those are the keys to the luxurious future I deserve. By Samantha Irby. It's a good one. Kind of funny. Alright, so I drug home another project. So this is another co-part thing, just like we did with On's GTI up over there. So this is a 2007 Suzuki GSX-R750. So won this on another co-part auction. Hopefully I didn't get myself in over my head or get something that's a complete piece of junk, but it's supposed to start. Supposedly it started when they got it in, but I tried starting it and the key came on and you heard the fuel pump come on, but must not have had enough juice to actually crank it over. But the engine and everything looks fine on here. Looks like it was just clipped on the front and busted off all the front headlight and the top of the fairing here and the fairing stay. So I'm gonna work on getting this unloaded. Oh, and it broke the clip on too. So as you can see there, well, we hauled it home yesterday. Just gonna get it unloaded. I'll just let it go. Should see if the lights actually come on, because you can hear the
Yep. Turn signals. Yep.
yeah.
They're just the fast ones because the fronts aren't there.
Brake light works.
Huh. Here, just give the front brake just a little nudge. Yep, that works too.
Well, it's got enough juice to turn the lights on.
Good.
Does the steering lock work? Yep. And I think all the wiring is missing from right here on, so it just needs the harness to go to all the front stuff and the fairings, and fix that brake. Probably be rideable. $12 volts, it should have enough to start. I thought I'd drain out all the old oil, and it looks like there's a lot of oil in there, because I checked the sight glass before and it was way above the sight glass. It was just all black inside there when I went to check the oil, even with it over on its kickstand. Drain all the oil out, and it kept coming out and coming out and coming out, and to me that looks like 4 quarts or more. So whoever had it last way overfilled it. I was worried that since I couldn't see anything in the sight glass, or it was above the sight glass, I was scared there'd be coolant in there, but it looks like it poured out like oil, so I watched it the whole time. It didn't look like coolant. So give a little more update on this. So I got the oil changed in it. I didn't change the filter just because I figure I just had some oil laying around. But I used the same oil that I use in my Victory, dropped it in here and filled it up so that when you tip the bike up, you see it in the center of the sight glass like it was supposed to be. I did take the oil that I did drain out of there and put it into a 1-gallon ice cream bucket, and I ended up filling that thing up a little more than once, so it had probably a gallon and then maybe another half a quart over that gallon. So it had about dang near twice as much oil in there that it was supposed to have. So next I'm just gonna start tearing into it and tearing these front plastics off. And kind of see what I'm dealing with here. Hopefully the coolant's full, so I know that there's not a coolant leak or something somewhere. That's what I'm hoping to find next. So this is where I'm at now. I got all the plastics off. They're laying over there on the floor. Only took about 2 bolts, and then it was just like grommets holding it in, since everything was all busted up here where it usually kind of pops into place underneath the headlight. Since that was all gone, there was like a bolt down there kind of by the kickstand, and I thought there was another one. Maybe that was it, and then just grommets, and then that whole side kind of popped off. I did undo it from the little snorkel, but then I ended up bolting the snorkel back to the pieces of the fairings there. So you can see I took these bolts out, but then I ended up putting them back in and just kind of putting all the snorkel together, just so I kind of remember how it goes for when I do get some new plastics for it. Alright, so I did a little more work on this, pulled the front and rear seats off, just 2 bolts and the front seat pops off. But I did go through, I pulled the battery cables off. This one was a little corroded on the negative side. Just tried to clean it up the best I could, the terminal on the battery, and then the opposite side of the clamp there. So hopefully she'll fire up. Alright, we're gonna give this a shot. Nothing. Let's try this. One more try. Alright, go ahead.
I think it was from your wheelchair, but I just wonder if I want.
Because it said that it started when it was
I don't
there.
know.
Maybe turn signal on, by the way.
That's going. Oh, and do you have your sugar thing?
I don't know where it is.
I don't know what would be in the bottom.
Alright, so something's not working at the switch. Fuel pump comes on. Starter switch isn't working. Alright, got the whole tail tore off of this thing. Fuel pump comes on. I wonder if this switch is dead. Because you can go to the solenoid here. Well, I tested out the relay, just watched a Google. Thank goodness for Google, but I tested, and these first 2 prongs are in here are the ones for to activate the starter relay, the starter solenoid. So I just stuck some alligator clips on there. Had kind of had a rough long day today. As you know, I probably have mentioned before, I enjoy mountain biking, so I did a race today. So just got home and hopped in the shower, so kind of probably look like a wet mop right now. But I thought I'd show the GSX-R750 project that I picked up the other day, where I'm at with that right now. I can't remember what I showed last, but I got the bike, what was left of the fairing off of it. So what I found was this brake caliper. There's no pads in there, and then there's like some scraping and stuff on one of those pistons in there. probably just from rolling it around. So I'm going to see if I can hopefully get those pistons pushed back or see what I can do to get that. So hopefully I don't have a bent rotor. I also notice here there's some scrapes on the wheel here. Hopefully that's nothing too major. Hopefully it's not a bent rim. I can hopefully just slap some paint on the side of there, may pop that tire off and kind of file that wheel down and put some paint on it. And then what I had noticed too is when I got home, you could turn the key on and there was no, you could push this, the fuel pump came on like so, but then when you push the start button, nothing would happen. So I did some looking, thank goodness for Google, but I thought, well, hopefully I thought worst case maybe it's that starter switch, some of the wiring between the starter back to a starter relay. But I thought, well, I'll check the easiest thing first, check the battery. That seemed to have plenty of voltage. And then there's the starter relay is underneath this bit of plastic here. So I actually had this whole tail section off of the bike last night. Pulled that starter relay, or first I didn't pull the starter relay out of there. I had the key on with the pump on and just did the short with the screwdriver, and the thing cranked and cranked, and it didn't crank too long, but it seemed like a little bit of a long time to me, and then it finally fired right up. So I thought, well, that's good, after I'd done the oil change. So then I thought, well, I'll pull that starter relay out of there, and then I did some Google searching, and it's got a 4-pin connector next to the starter solenoid, and they're basically a fuse and then a plug with 4 pins in it. So I checked the fuse looked good. And then I did some research and checked across the pairs of pins. One had a really low resistance and one had about 4 ohms, which I thought was still low, but still was higher. And according to the Google video, that's the one that closes the solenoid. So I finally figured that out. And then they said, well, the other 2 pins is probably for some sort of safety. Well, then I thought, you know, I'll try this. And I had noticed, well, here's the clutch, what's left of the clutch lever laying on the floor. So I noticed on the back side of the clutch, here's this little plunger here. So you pull the clutch and the plunger pops out. And I thought, well, let's give that a shot. So keep in mind that plunger's out right now. Fuel pump's on. And I'm pretty sure I'm in neutral. Fires right to life. She idles right down. She's got some mechanical noise, but I kind of remember that from my previous sport bikes anyway, with all that valve train. There's a little bit of noise, but probably over the winter I'll probably pull it apart and check all the valves, the cam to valve cup clearance. He's a runner. Looks like she might up a little blue. That's part of it. Barney approves. But there she is. Now I do need to get back to working on this guy. So I was putting together this video and I thought I'd do a little summary about why I picked up this project. So previous to my Victory bike that I ride right now, I always rode sport bikes, and I actually got rid of my last sport bike when I picked up the Victory and kind of really regretted it. So I've spent about, well, I've been riding motorcycles since I was 19, so I'm not going to get into how long that's been. But I had just turned 46 here in the last couple of days, actually. And one of my bucket list things has always been doing track days and being able to drag a knee. So I did do a track day on another bike earlier in August and just kind of fell in love with it, and it kind of reinforced my desire to have a bike like that again and to be able to do that. So, and I'd been kind of thinking about buying a wrecked bike for actually quite a few years in order to do something like that. So I figured instead of having a really nice street bike that I've owned since brand new like I had in the past and being scared to scuff them up, I thought, well, I'll look for a wrecked bike. And since we did that with my son's Volkswagen GTI, his little VW GTI, I thought, well, I'll give that a shot with a sport bike too. So I'd been keeping an eye open for things, and I ran across this GSX-R750 on Copart, on a Copart auction. So I thought, well, I'll give it a shot, try bidding on it. Well, and here she is now. So that's my whole thought process behind this motorcycle is I'm going to get it, well, it obviously runs. Just kind of want to get it to be a full-blown street bike again, so I'm getting all the parts for it. Got some handlebar ordered for it, headlight ordered for it, different things like that, and I'm going to get a fairing set ordered for it, so it's going to be a street bike that will do some track bike duty too. So that's the plans and intentions for this bike.